and welcome to DeepDive Talent Insights and Analytics channel. This is I Think I Love My Job. This is the Think Differently series of I Think I Love My Job, and I am Dr. Kalifa Oliver, your resident expert and all things employee experience here at DeepDive. Today's topic is about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's really trying to dig into where it falls within organizational frameworks. And I am here to tell you that DEI is an outcome. Let's go. DE&I has been the topic of discussion for the past year, probably more than it's ever been, and rightfully so. We have really fallen behind organizationally in prioritizing it the way that it should be prioritized. So one of the things I've noticed in a lot of discussions with peers and organizational leaders is trying to understand what they need to do for DEI, because the needle doesn't seem to be moving. And in a lot of cases, DEI initiatives are coming across as more performative, check the box exercise, if you will. There's a lot of turnover in the DEI world because we don't feel, right, that we're making an impact. So one of the things that I have been really going on my soapbox about is trying to get organizational leaders to reframe how they think about DEI. I am here to say that DEI is an outcome. Let me explain. Let's say you are trying to lose weight. So you have to do some things to lose weight. You eat differently, you exercise more, you change your exercise routine, you change how you think about food and your relationship with food. The outcome of those behaviors is weight loss, right? If weight loss was where you started, right, inexplicably, without making conscious changes or without an awareness of what's happening as to why, then it going in as an input when you go to your doctor is more of a symptom, and it probably means that it's an illness or something's wrong or something strange is going on. I want you to think of DEI as more of that outcome, that weight loss outcome. There's a series of behaviors and actions that an organization needs to take and be responsible for, and then DEI should be a natural outcome of that. Too often, what I'm hearing is the framing of DEI as an input. If I just put the right people in these roles, then everybody's gonna feel included, right? No. If you create policies and processes that impact your employee experience in a positive way, if you think through strategically what helps you get your talent in and keep your talents, I promise you that DEI becomes a natural consequence, a natural outcome of these behaviors and these actions. If you think through, for example, implementing proper remote work strategies, right? A group that a lot of people don't think about that have been able to be accommodated well for remote work are people who are considered people with disabilities or people who identify as being somebody with a disability. We don't think about that. In many organizations, some of these same people were told that their disability could not be accommodated. But here we are, here is COVID to tell you Yes, it can. And so now you've expanded your workforce by including people who could do the work and do it well, but you hadn't created policies, processes, invested in technology, and invested in the resources needed to accommodate that talent. Remote work has flattened the playing field for getting skilled talent across the country that previously were bound by four walls of an office. Think about that. That's a difference in policy. Policies have changed to allow people to take time off to think about their mental health. You create policies like that, you are creating an inclusive environment without putting a label on, is this diverse, is this equitable, is this inclusive? Because implicitly it is. These are choices, a series of choices that organizations have to make. When these decisions are made, when these decisions are made objectively, to really think about, how can I support this group better? How could I provide better technology? How could I provide more mobile technology? How can I help people get together in different ways? How can I be creative? How can I think about mental health? How can I think about well-being? How do I think about work-life balance? How do I think about flexibility? When you really put that time and that work in, it's beautiful. Your outcome. You are naturally going to get a better pipeline of people, more diverse people who recognize that your policies impact them. You are naturally going to keep your diverse talent. You are naturally going to attract a better reputation. You are naturally going to shine and glow in that diversity, in that inclusion, in that sense of equity. Now, I'm not saying to discard initiatives that are specifically labeled DEI. Absolutely not. Because we are too far behind and we have too much of a gap to fill to get there. But to move away from performative action as an organization means that you have to stop focusing on something as specifically diverse, specifically inclusive. If you have a diversity, equity, and inclusion problem at your organization, you have a problem. You just have an organizational problem. The same way you would have a problem if your merchandising systems broke down, if your technology broke down. You just have a problem that you need to solve. It is going to permeate and pervade your organization. It is a cultural problem, and you have the ability to fix it by owning it, by looking at your processes, your policies, and your pipeline. So all I'm saying, organizational leaders, if you really want to focus on making substantive and tangible DEI change, processes, policies, pipeline. Reframe the way you think about DEI. DEI is a natural outcome. And I promise you, when you build a beautiful and a brilliant and an awesome experience that goes beyond the box that is created for DEI, that goes beyond a month, a day, a festival, a season, and it starts to permeate through your culture and your organization, then you've made a change. So that's all for today. Tell me what you think. Do you agree that DEI is an outcome? Why or why not? Hop in my comments and talk about it. If you like what you've heard today, you want to discuss more, don't forget to like and subscribe. I am here, I'm doing this for you. So don't forget, as always, there is always room to have a brilliant experience. Bye.